kiddos. Good morning. Today is April 12th. Can we count to 12? There are 12 months in the year. We've counted to 12 before. We can totally do this. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We did it. 10 plus 2 is 12. Great job, friends. So how was your weekend? Did you guys have some fun things that you did? You did? Is it a thumbs up weekend? Oh, fantastic. I am so happy for you. Me too. 2 thumbs up. So, if this is the first day of the week, remember, Sunday is a weekend day. It's also technically the first day of the week, and Saturday is also a weekend day. So what is the day after Sunday? Because that was yesterday. There's Sunday and there's Monday. Yes, today is Monday. What is tomorrow? Let's start our song over from the beginning. There's Sunday and there's Monday. There's Tuesday. That's what tomorrow is. Tuesday. Wow. We are getting really good at figuring this out. All right, let's go through the whole song. Days of the week. 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 There's Sunday and there's Monday. There's Tuesday and there's Wednesday. There's Thursday and there's Friday. And then there's Saturday. Days of the week. 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 There's Sunday and there's Monday. There's Tuesday and there's Wednesday. There's Thursday and there's Friday. And then there's Saturday. All right, and again, today is Monday. Yesterday was Sunday. And now we're back to Monday. Tomorrow is Tuesday. Well done. Good job. I want to talk with you about some things that are coming home in your distance learning bag. I want to talk about a really fun springtime thing, and that is the life cycle of a butterfly. So, initially, we have a leaf, and there is usually more than one egg, but I have sent home one puffball to represent an egg. And so then the egg hatches. What comes out of the egg? Do you know? Do you remember? Well, it's a caterpillar. So caterpillars hatch out of those eggs. And what do those hungry caterpillars do? They eat whatever plant that they're on, and they get big and strong. And then what happens? They create a chrysalis pouch. So I'm going to put our caterpillar into the chrysalis. All right, there we go. And I'm going to give our little caterpillar a little bow. Takes a little bit of time for a caterpillar to change into a butterfly. So I am sending home, this part is the head and abdomen and thorax of a butterfly, and then I'm sending home coffee filters for wings. Okay, I'm sending home 2, so you can have 2 different sets of wings, or if you have one that doesn't turn out that well, you've got a second spare backup wings. And what you can do is you can watercolor these. You can use markers and then give it a little water spritz if you like a little tie-dye look. You can just use regular markers or color crayons, anything that you like. And then if you'll notice this, the butterfly has kind of like a chopstick looking thing, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to push the wings up the inside here, and let's see, we're going to get them all the way up, and that is going to be your beautiful butterfly that you have taken through metamorphosis. So it started as an egg and became a caterpillar. There we go. And then it created a chrysalis around its body. And then when it came out of that, it was a beautiful butterfly. And that is a magical springtime thing that we have. So I hope you get to enjoy this fun project. And I am also sending home, I'm putting away all of the pieces, I'm sending home this fun piece of paper, and this says life cycle of a butterfly. So you can cut out these quarter segments. Do you see how this bottom circle has 1, 2, 3, 4? So each one of these segments represents a quarter of the circle. And you're going to cut these out and you will glue them on. And the eggs, there's the eggs on the leaf, that goes in number 1. There is a caterpillar munching on a leaf. That goes in number 2. Then there's the chrysalis. That goes in number 3. And the adult butterfly. And that quarter segment goes here on number 4. And then you cut this part out and you put it over the top, and you can rotate that top disc. There's a little brass nail looking thing, and press that through, have your adult do it, and you'll be able to enjoy this fun circle. And another caterpillar thing is, do you see all of these caterpillar heads? Isn't that funny? And then what numbers do we see along the side? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you're going to take a little bit of finger paint, or maybe just add a little bit of extra water to your watercolor, and you are going to say, I'm going to do 1 dot, and you do 1 dot behind this caterpillar's head, and that means that the caterpillar has 1 body segment. What about number 2? How many dots do we put behind number 2 caterpillar's head? 1, 2 dots. You're right. Okay, if we skip ahead and we say 6, how many dots do we put behind number 6 caterpillar's head? How many dots? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to put 6 dots behind number 6 caterpillar's head. What about 10? How many dots are we going to put behind that caterpillar? 10 dots. Which one is going to be the longest? Do you think it'll be up here or down here? Which one will have the most dots? Will it be number 1 or number 10? It will be number 10. Good job. Which one will have the least, the smallest amount of dots? Number 1? Yeah, you're right. It will be number 1 because there's only 1 dot, and all the way down here, there's 10 dots. Pretty fun. All right. Well, before I go too much further, we should talk about the letter this week. What letter is that you see behind me? It is the last letter in the alphabet. Wow, we have reached the final letter. That's incredible, don't you think? Tell you what, let's sing the alphabet song. And we are going to go and do our sign language as we sing it, and then we'll race the second time. Does that sound good? All right, great. Let's do it. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y was last week, and Z. Do you see how you do the Z? You just trace it in the air. Isn't that fun? So there's the Z behind me, and you trace it. Isn't that cool? So that's our final sign language is Z. Okay, are you ready to go really fast? Are you ready to race? Oh, fantastic. Okay, on your marks. Get set, go. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Now I know my ABCs. Next time, won't you sing with me? Did you beat me? Did you do good quality alphabet singing? I bet you did. Well done. Well, since we've talked about some letters and our letter of the week, what can we think of that Z starts with? Z. Z. Ooh, I think that's the sound that a bee makes. Z. Ooh, I think I may have to bring our little puppet bee to our next meeting and make it buzz. Ooh, buzz. I think buzz has Z's in it. It does. B-U-Z-Z. Wow, that's really neat. Well, what about a word that starts with Z instead of ends with Z? Is there a creature that kind of looks like a horse, except for it has black and white stripes? Can you think of what that animal is called? Does it start with a Z? Did you figure it out? Did you think of zebra? Wow, that's fantastic. Well done. What about something that you can plant in your garden? It's in the squash family, and it starts with a Z, and it's usually green, and it grows. It can be just long and skinny, or if you don't pick them fast enough, sometimes they can get really long and really big. Not a pumpkin. Pumpkin starts with P. What about a zucchini? Yeah, zucchini. That starts with a Z. Now, did you hear another word in the beginning of that? Zucchini? Where do we get to go see zebras at? Do you normally have to go to the zoo? There's another Z word. Wow! All right, friends. I have a couple more on this sheet of paper that you're getting too. What about when you go to zip up your jacket? What do you use? A zipper. Yes! Isn't that cool? So you probably use zippers maybe once a day. It's starting to get warm, so we don't need to wear jackets as much as we did when it was winter. Now that it's spring, it's getting a little bit warmer, isn't it? How fun. So this right here, do you see this cool airship? It's called a Zeppelin. How cool is that, right? And this right here is a little harp, and it's called a zither. Pretty neat. All right, I am all done talking about the letter Z just for today, but I have a fun book that I want to share with you, and it's a little bit of history. It's called Amelia and Eleanor Go for a Ride. Now these two ladies are really neat. Let's find out more about them. Let's see. It's written by Pam Munoz Ryan, and the pictures are by Brian Selznick. Let's find out about Eleanor and Amelia and their ride. Whoa, are we going to get to learn about planes? I sure hope so. Amelia and Eleanor Go for a Ride, based on a true story. What does that mean? That means this actually happened. Wow! Amelia and Eleanor were birds of a feather. Eleanor was outspoken and determined. So was Amelia. Amelia was daring and liked to try things that other women wouldn't even consider. Eleanor was very much the same. So when Eleanor discovered that her friend Amelia was coming to town to give a speech, she naturally said, "Bring your husband and come to dinner at my house. You can even sleep over." There's Eleanor, and there's Amelia. It wasn't unusual for two friends to get together, but Eleanor was Eleanor Roosevelt, the First Lady of the United States, who lived in the White House with her husband, President Franklin Roosevelt. And Amelia was Amelia Earhart, the celebrated aviator who had been the first female pilot to fly solo across the Atlantic Ocean. And when the two of the most famous and adventurous women in the world got together, something exciting was bound to happen. This is Washington, D.C., and this is the White House. And that's where Eleanor Roosevelt lived. In a guest room at the White House, Amelia and her husband, G.P., dressed for dinner. Amelia pulled on long white evening gloves that were so different from the ones she sometimes wore while flying. Many people didn't understand why a woman would want to risk her life in a plane, but Amelia had said it more than once. It's for the fun of it. Besides, she loved the feeling of independence that she had when she was in the cockpit. She carefully folded a gift for Eleanor, a silk scarf that matched her own. The powder blue with streaks of indigo reminded Amelia of a morning sky. And this is Amelia's husband, GP, and he's reading a newspaper that says, "Earhart flies." Ooh, what are we going to find out on the next page? Oh, and there is Eleanor. Meanwhile, Eleanor dressed for dinner too. Her brother Hal would be escorting her this evening because the president had a meeting to attend. But Eleanor was used to that. She pulled on the long white evening gloves that were so different from the ones she sometimes wore while she was driving. And then she peeked out the window at the brand new car that had just been delivered that afternoon. She couldn't wait to drive it. Many people thought it was too bold and dangerous for a woman to drive a car, especially the First Lady of the United States. But Eleanor always gave the same answer. "It's practical, that's all." Besides, she loved the feeling of independence that she had when she was behind the wheel. Oh, there we go. They're meeting at the White House. And it looks like Amelia has given her friend Eleanor the present. It was a brisk and cloudless April evening. What month is it right now? April. This is the same month in the book when this true story happened. It was this month. It was an April evening. The guests had gathered in the red room, and the table looked elegant, as even small dinner parties at the White House can be. Eleanor and Hall greeted Amelia and GP, as well as several reporters and a photographer. Amelia gave Eleanor the scarf. "I love it," Eleanor exclaimed. "It's just like yours." All right, let's find out. Oh, now it looks like they're having dinner. And they're both wearing their matching scarves. Dinner started with George Washington's crab chowder. "This is delicious," said Amelia. "But if soup at the White House has such a fancy name, what will dessert be called?" "Perhaps Abraham Lincoln's peach cobbler, or maybe Thomas Jefferson's custard." They laughed as everyone took turns guessing, but by the time they got to the roast duck, the conversation had turned to flying. "Mrs. Roosevelt just received her student's pilot's license," said one of the reporters. Amelia wasn't surprised. She had been the one to encourage Eleanor. She knew her friend could do anything she set her mind to. "I'll teach you myself," offered Amelia. "I accept. Tell us, Amelia, what is it like to fly at night in the dark?" Ooh, it looks like it must be magical. Everyone at the table leaned closer to hear. Very few people in the whole world had ever flown at night, and Amelia was one of them. Amelia's eyes sparkled. The stars glitter all about and seem close enough to touch. At higher elevations, the clouds below shine white with dark islands where the night sea shows through. I've seen the planet Venus setting on the horizon, and I have circled the cities of twinkling lights. That sounds magical. And there is Amelia and Eleanor. "And the capital city at night?" asked Eleanor. "There's no describing it," said Amelia. "You just have to experience it on a clear night when you can see forever. Why, we should go tonight. We should fly the loop to Baltimore and back in no time." The Secret Service men protested. "This hasn't been approved." "Nonsense," said Eleanor. "If Amelia Earhart can fly solo across the Atlantic Ocean, I can certainly take a short flight to Baltimore and back." Before dessert could be served, Amelia had called Eastern Air Transport and arranged a flight. Wow! Oh, there is Amelia's plane. Wow! Within the hour, Amelia and Eleanor boarded the Curtiss Condor twin-motor airplane. For a moment, both women looked up at the mysterious night sky, and then, without changing her gloves, Amelia slipped into the cockpit and took the wheel. The plane rolled down the runway faster and faster. Lights from the airstrip flashed in front of them, and then they lifted into the dark. How amusing is it to see a girl in a white evening dress and high-heeled shoes flying a plane, Eleanor said. Amelia laughed as she made a wide sweep over Washington, D.C. and turned off all the lights in the plane. Out the window, the Potomac River glistened with moonshine. The Capitol dome reflected a soft golden halo, and the enormous light-drenched monuments looked like tiny miniatures. Soon the peaceful countryside gave way to shadowy woodlands. The Chesapeake Bay became a meandering outline on the horizon, and even though they knew it wasn't so, it seemed as if the plane crawled slowly through the star-struck space. Eleanor marveled. "It's like sitting on top of the world." And it is. Look at that. There is Washington, D.C. in all of its glory, lit up at night. When it was time to land, Amelia carefully took the plane down. A group of reporters had gathered, anxious to ask questions. Mrs. Roosevelt, did you feel safe knowing a girl was flying that ship? Oh, just as safe, said Eleanor. Did you fly the plane, Mrs. Roosevelt? Asked one reporter. What part did you like best? Said another. Oh, I enjoyed it so much, and no, I didn't actually fly the plane, not yet. But someday I intend to. I was thrilled by the city lights, the brilliance of the blinking pinpoints below. Amelia smiled. She knew just how Eleanor felt. They've got big smiles on their faces, don't they? They look like they've had a marvelous evening. Oh, and let's see what is going to happen next. What are these two ladies up to now? As the Secret Service agents drove them slowly back to the White House, Amelia and Eleanor agreed that there was nothing quite as exciting as flying. What could compare? Well, they admitted maybe the closest thing would be driving in a fast car on a straightaway road with a stiff breeze blowing against your face. Arms linked, they walked up the steps to the White House. Eleanor whispered something to Amelia, and then they hesitated, letting the rest of the group walk ahead of them. Are you coming inside, Mrs. Roosevelt? Someone asked. But by then they had wrapped their silk scarves around their necks, and they were hurrying towards Eleanor's new car. Wow, there they go. Look at that. It's a convertible. Without changing her gloves, Eleanor quickly slipped into the driver's seat and took her turn at the wheel. With the wind in their hair and the brisk air stinging their cheeks, they flew down the road. And after they had taken a ride about the city streets of Washington, D.C., they finally headed back to the White House. Oh, and look at that. It looks like they arrived in time for dessert. Eleanor Roosevelt's pink clouds on angel food cake. That's what it's called. There you go. There's the car outside the White House. Isn't that wonderful? So these are two daring, adventurous ladies from the early 1900s or 1930s. So, my fabulous friends, I will see you tomorrow on Tuesday. Have a wonderful day. Mwah!